Rain fell in heavy sheets, drumming against the cracked sidewalks and filling the night with a rhythm of loneliness. Lily pulled her thin jacket tighter, though it did little against the chill. Her shoes squished with every step, and her stomach ached with hunger, but she kept walking, because there was no choice. Tomorrow meant another shift, another struggle to scrape by. Then, just as she turned into a narrow alley, she heard it, a faint, fragile cry, almost swallowed by the storm. At first, she thought her tired mind was playing tricks, but the sound came again, trembling, desperate. Her heart quickened. She followed the cry until she saw a small bundle lying against the cold bricks, rain dripping onto the thin blanket that barely covered it. Lily froze, her breath catching. A baby. Alone. Shivering in the darkness. Without thinking, she rushed forward, her hands trembling as she lifted the child into her arms. The baby was impossibly tiny, skin cold to the touch, lips quivering as if every breath was a battle. Lily pressed the child against her chest, whispering words of comfort she didn't even know she had inside her. The baby quieted, staring up at her with wide, luminous eyes, as if recognizing the safety of her embrace. Lily's life had always been defined by scarcity, by what she lacked. But in that moment, holding that fragile life against her heart, she felt something fierce and undeniable. No matter what it cost, she would not let this child be alone again. Lily's room was little more than 4 walls and a mattress pressed against the floor, but that night it became a sanctuary. She set the baby down gently, wrapping her in the only warm coat she owned. It seems frayed but soft enough to shield her from the lingering chill of the rain. The child's cries had quieted, replaced by small breaths that seemed to echo in the silence, each one reminding Lily how fragile life could be. Her pockets were nearly empty, but Lily couldn't bear the thought of the baby going hungry. She walked to the corner shop, trading the last of her crumpled bills for a small bottle of milk. Back in her room, she warmed it carefully over the stove, praying it would be enough. When the baby's lips found the bottle, her tiny body relaxed, and for the first time, Lily saw a spark of peace in those unusually bright eyes. The hours slipped away, yet Lily never felt tired. She found herself studying the child's face, the soft round cheeks, the curious way her gaze lingered as though she understood more than she should. There was something otherworldly about her presence, a quiet strength wrapped in innocence. As dawn painted faint light across the cracked window, Lily whispered a vow into the silence, "I don't have much, but I have love. As long as I breathe, you won't be alone." She didn't know why, but when the baby blinked up at her, it felt like a promise both of them understood. Days began to blur into one another, but with the baby in her arms, Lily felt a new rhythm to life, one filled with both struggle and strange wonder. At first, it was small things. When the baby giggled, the flickering bulb in Lily's room seemed to steady, casting a warm glow that made the space feel less lonely. When she cried, the wind outside rattled the windows harder, almost as if the world itself shared her sorrow. Lily told herself it was coincidence, tricks of a tired mind. Yet, there was something about the child's presence she couldn't explain. One evening, after another exhausting shift, Lily collapsed onto the mattress, hunger gnawing so deeply she grew dizzy. Darkness closed in, and she felt herself slipping, too weak to rise. But then, a tiny hand reached for her. The baby's palm pressed against her cheek, and for the briefest moment, a faint golden glow pulsed through Lily's skin. Strength returned, her breathing eased, and her eyes flew open. She sat there stunned, heart racing, while the baby simply cooed, as if nothing extraordinary had happened at all. Another night, Lily hummed softly to lull the child to sleep, but the baby began humming back, clear notes, too steady for someone so young. The sound filled the room with peace, as though wrapping Lily in invisible arms of comfort. She should have been afraid, but she wasn't. Love doesn't need answers. Whatever this child was, whoever she was meant to be, Lily knew only one thing: she belonged with her. It happened on a morning that seemed like any other. Lily cradled the baby as she walked down the worn street, humming the tune that always soothed her. But then the sound of engines broke the calm, sleek black cars rolled to a stop at the corner, their presence far too powerful for the crumbling neighborhood. Doors opened, and men in dark suits stepped out, scanning the street with urgent eyes. Before Lily could turn away, a woman rushed forward, her heels clicking against the pavement, her face pale with desperation. She froze when she saw the child in Lily's arms. The world seemed to pause. The woman's lips trembled as she whispered the baby's name, a name Lily had never heard before. Tears streamed down her face as she stumbled closer, her voice breaking, "My daughter, you found my daughter." Lily's breath caught. She looked from the woman to the child, stunned by the recognition in both their eyes. The suits lowered their guard, murmurs of relief rippling among them, but Lily stood frozen, her heart racing. She had thought the baby was abandoned, left to the shadows of the alley. Instead, she was the daughter of one of the most powerful women in the city, a CEO whose face Lily had only ever seen on glowing billboards. The woman's hands shook as she reached out, but her eyes locked on Lily's with gratitude so raw it made her chest ache. "You saved her," she whispered. "You saved my whole world." The days that followed felt like a dream Lily was afraid to wake from. She had expected to lose the baby, to hand her over and slip quietly back into her invisible life. Instead, the CEO kept returning, not with pity, but with a look that said Lily mattered. She invited Lily into her home, a place filled with light, warmth, and more kindness than Lily had known in years. At first, Lily resisted. She wasn't used to comfort, wasn't sure she belonged in marble halls and rooms where the air smelled of fresh flowers instead of damp stone. But every time she wavered, the baby reached for her, those bright eyes refusing to let go. It was as if the child herself had chosen Lily, not just once in that rainy alley, but forever. One evening, as they all sat together, the CEO took Lily's hands in hers. "You didn't just save my daughter," she said softly. "You saved me. Please, stay. Not as a guest, not out of charity. Stay as family." Lily's throat tightened, words caught behind the weight of emotions she had never been able to name. She thought of the nights she'd gone hungry, the loneliness she had carried like a second skin. And then she thought of this baby, this miracle, laughing in her arms, binding them all together with something stronger than fate. For the first time, Lily allowed herself to believe it, she wasn't just surviving anymore. She was loved. She was home.